Hi everyone, this is Cameron with the Burnside team at Keller Williams Real Estate. On today's video, we're going to talk about what you would do if you're wanting to sell your house, but it is not exactly in the best of condition. And in some cases, it's maybe a real fixer-upper. So if you're wanting to sell your house, but it needs a lot of work and you know it needs a lot of work in every neighborhood, I have worked with so many clients who have this, so there's nothing to be ashamed about that. Things happen. It costs money to make certain repairs. You may just not be able to get around to it. So there's no problem with that. I've sold multiple homes, and if you drove around neighborhoods and you saw houses on the inside, you'd say, man, that thing's a real fixer-upper. So there's not a problem in doing that. It happens all the time, and we do it almost on a monthly basis. So if you're in that situation and saying, well, I'd love to sell my house and get something else, but I just don't want to spend the money, the time, energy, effort to do what I need to do, what are my options? So I want to talk about 3 little points here that discuss and address that. So if you're wanting to sell a house and it's a fixer-upper, and I'm using that term very endearingly, obviously there's no, it's not derogatory. I'm not trying to disparage about a certain house, just the way the house might be. So if you're wanting to do that, what I would recommend first and foremost is consider getting a home inspection. Now, I'll have a lot of sellers who ask me if they should get a home inspection. I'll usually tell them no. In most cases, it wouldn't make sense because buyers are going to get their own home inspection. There's going to be other issues that come up with that different inspection. But if you have a house that needs a ton of work, a home inspection actually can be a really, really good use of money. And I've got great inspectors I can connect you with if you like to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you get a home inspection, you're going to know maybe any of the other issues that are part of that house that you weren't aware of. So it's going to bring some of the other things to light. And that's good because it's better to be prepared than go under contract and then have a buyer find that out on their inspection, then you're having to try to negotiate up front there. So it's good to know some of the nuances of your house and what are the problems. The other thing is that way, if you get a home inspection and the house doesn't look great and a buyer comes in, you can say, I've already got a home inspection done on this. It may not look the best, but a lot of this is cosmetic, and I've got a home inspection that will show you that it's actually really in good shape, or will at least identify some of the issues. So if you do that, that's going to help you to disclose certain problems, and it's going to make a buyer feel a little bit better. And then also another thing that you can do if you do get a home inspection and have some of these issues, you can get some bids by some qualified contractors to know how much you're looking at as far as a cost goes. Again, a lot of times when a buyer comes in and says, I'm going to have to replace this and this and this, and they start seeing all these dollar signs, well, in a lot of scenarios, it's maybe not as bad as what they think. So if you've taken the time to get a home inspection, find out what the issues are, getting some bids from some good contractors, again, we can connect you with those. That way you can go to the buyer and say, hey, I know this looks like a problem, but it's only going to cost you this much money. So let's negotiate a good win-win scenario for both sides. So that would be another thing I would recommend. The next thing is that consider maybe selling it to an investor. There are plenty of people who were willing to buy a house that needs work, but because of financing, they may not be able to get the financing for it. Or 2, they may just not want to go and put all that money in. So they might like your house, but say, I'm going to offer you such a steep discount because of the hassle and the things that I have to do. So an investor can be a good scenario. I've had a number of clients that we've connected them with an investor. An investor has purchased the home. And in doing so, an investor is not going to be nearly as concerned or worried about a lot of the things that what we maybe consider the traditional buyer would be concerned about. So some buyers are going in and they see the electrical issues all over the place, and that's concerning. That's scary to them. But an investor might go in and say, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to have someone take a look at that and we're going to be okay. So selling it to an investor can actually be a really good scenario. There are some pros and cons to doing it that way, and I can explain that more in detail if you're interested. And then the last thing is I would just say be very realistic with your price. Some of the worst condition homes that I have sold in the past are ones that have sold the fastest, and it's because we price the house accordingly to what the work is needing to be done in it. And I'm not saying giving the house away, I'm just saying being realistic, studying the market and knowing, okay, a house in good condition is going to sell for X, house in this other condition maybe sell for Y. And if it's priced right, it can still go really, really fast, even with multiple offers I've seen in certain situations. So those are my suggestions or points if you're needing to sell a fixer-upper. If you have any questions, or if you're considering selling that, or if you know somebody else who is looking at selling their house and it's not in the best condition or circumstances, reach out to me, let me know. I'm happy to connect you with vendors. I'm happy to give you ideas to what the price might be if you wanted to sell in today's market, and anything else I can answer to make your life a little bit easier. Have an awesome day and look forward to connecting with you soon.